Alright, today I'm going to show you the basic cleaning of an LCT carburetor. These carburetors and engines are found on most MTD products, Troy-Bilt, Yardman, Yard Machines, and so on. The LCT stands for Liquid Combustion Technology, and it's a newer style engine made overseas. First thing we're going to do is go over a few of the components of this. This piece right here is your bowl drain. We can take that out at the end of the season when you're done using it, whether it be a snow blower or even possibly a lawnmower. They want you to drain all the fuel out when you're done using it. You take that out on the machine, you can just let that drain out. What that does is allow the float and needle to move away from the seat, so that way we don't damage the needle in the off season. This piece that I just took out was the bowl nut, and what that does is let you to remove the bowl. A lot of times the bowl seal sticks to the bowl, so you want to give it a little twist there. You can see this bowl is fairly clean, and here's your float, and that's free moving, you can see that. And here's your float pivot pin. We can remove that. And then we're going to have, what we have is the needle. And this needle is actually a little spring load. You can see that spring loaded needle. And you want to examine that needle really close to make sure there's no damage at the tip of it. That is a rubber tip needle, and a lot of times you'll get an indentation from leaving it sit with fuel in it. And if you look right down in here, that's the seat. What happens is fuel sits there and the needle rests against the seat over the off season and puts an indentation in the needle, and that lets fuel flow all the time, resulting in hydrolock in the cylinder or diluted oil. So now you can see that we have the bowl O-ring right here, and sometimes they're brittle, so you kind of want to watch it. Leave that in place if you can. Again, here's your needle, or your inlet where your needle shuts off the fuel, and this is your inlet where the hose is hooked up, and there's a circuit right there for filling the bowl. Down in this orifice here is where you find your main jet, and a lot of times you can clean this main jet out by just putting a piece of a bread wire in there, bread tie wire, and that'll clean out if you have any blockage. If it doesn't clean it out, I actually ground the screwdriver down to fit the seat or the jet perfectly. So now we'll dump that out, give it a little tap, and you notice that the jet fell out, and we'll look in there, and that jet appears to be a little bit plugged. So what we can do is I made a little tool here out of a wire and a handle. Clean that jet out, and then we'll take a little spray cleaner and shoot that through, and then use a little bit of air and blow that out, and now you can see through that jet. You can see the hole in there. And the other piece that fell out of there is called the emulsion tube, and the emulsion tube has several little holes in it, and this basically allows different levels of fuel to come out of the bowl. So now that we have that clean, we can spray a little cleaner down this orifice here, and that's going to actually come out in the middle of the carburetor. Okay, then we'll put our emulsion tube back in, kind of keep watch of what way it fell out, and then our jet, and we'll tighten our jet back down. And just give it a little snug. You want to make sure you got the right size screwdriver, because you can chip the jet and then damage it. Now that we have that clean, there's a couple other ports and orifices that we want to make sure are clean. Right here's an air bleed, and we want to take our spray and we'll spray in there. And you got to watch it. Sometimes it wants to come back at you. Clean that out. And then there's two on this side as well. And this is an idle circuit. Here's your primer. That's where your primer hose hooks to. So if you plug your primer and put it in here, we can actually watch it come out over here. You can see that bubbling out. So that's your idle circuit. A lot of times when you got to run half choke, quarter choke, a lot of times that's plugged. So then we'll clean this one out as well. And you'll notice that this one will actually come out down below too, right down in here. So now that we have all that cleaned out, take some compressed air, blow it all dry, blow through all the orifices with the compressed air. And I'm not going to replace the seal, but if you got a brittle O-ring, you might want to replace that. And then we inspected our needle, and that seemed to be good. Set that on there. And now get your pivot pin. And that'll go right in through there. Make sure it's moving good, and you can see the spring load is working on there. And then reinstall your ball. And here's your bowl nut or bolt, and that's a 10mm head. You want to just give it a little snug. And here's your bowl drain. You can notice your bowl drain has actually got a Phillips head, or you can use a 10mm wrench as well. And just give that a little snug. Make sure your washers are on here for your seals. And basically that's all there is to it, to cleaning the LCT carburetor. If you are not successful in your cleaning, a lot of times you have to replace the carburetor because the circuits are just plugged in just enough where you can't see it, and there is still a little bit of flow. I've seen more replaced carburetors than I have successful cleanings, as we are a Troy-built and MTD service center. So that's it. Thanks for watching my video.